I think it's actually interesting. I'm not sure if I meant to say this, but I think what is interesting is that when this happened, the LA Times spoke with you and said, look, Joe, I know that you actually didn't, we read it, we know that you didn't actually say anything homophobic or racist. It's just that this LAist was just so effective in going viral. It just doesn't look good on us. And I thought, wow, that we would never know that, you know, like that's never going to go viral. People are never going to know that actually the LA Times board just thought it was just bad judgment to be on that site. It wasn't like you actually said anything racist or bigoted. And I if you want to comment on that, I think what goes on inside the press is quite interesting.
Well, I mean, there's so many things I've had to learn since becoming a candidate. Where you get your voter data, how you create a voter universe, how you prepare mail pieces, who you're going to get those mail pieces done from. And there's this endorsement process that eats up a ton of your time. A ton of your time where you thought you'd be talking to people, you're instead talking to boards of people that don't live anywhere near where you live and don't care, but they're going to give you the mark of approval or not. And the LA Times editorial board, something similar to this, but they were just, you know, 2 and in one case 3 post was published. This was the question that the guy was screaming, and it was the first time I heard the one guy on the editorial board screaming in the phone was, you know, what the heck were you doing on this website in the first place? And that's a very fair question. It's one I've gotten repeatedly, and I want to tell you the truth. And a lot of people say it's not good enough, that you should, you know, you were validating what these people were doing. But I'll just tell you the truth. I graduated with a degree in anthropology from UC Santa Barbara. I grew up in a city where every weekend I would skateboard down to the beach and go surfing, and every time I was on the boardwalk in Venice, there was always someone there telling me that I should go kill myself because I was mixed race. There was people there were guys with these big, you know, God hates fag signs, and they were always screaming at me about what a horrible person I was. So the homophobia, the bigotry, the racism, the fear, the anxiety has always been front and center in my personal life, and it's always kept me interested in people that I completely disagree with. And I've carried that through to my adult life as well. So I like to hear from people, and I really like to hear from people that I absolutely do not agree with, that I think are totally wrong, and that come into a situation 100% committed to an argument that I totally will never believe. I don't know if you ever watch public comment period in City Hall these days. People say a lot worse things in public comment period than I've ever, well, no, I've seen some pretty horrific things online. Just take that back. But they say some pretty horrifying things in city council these days. And for me, this is the problem, is that going to that site, people have said, validates what people say there. And I can understand that perspective. I'm just telling you why I was there, is that I am fascinated, I am interested in people that I disagree with and what they say and what they think. And the comments I made in a racist forum were me, I don't know why I had felt even compelled to say it, but I was frustrated because they were inconsistent in their racism. It just drove me up the wall. They were calling people from Papua New Guinea African, and I just knew that was, no, you're completely wrong, and I have to let you know right now. And anyway, the guy on the other end of the line said, you know, he just screamed, that's bullshit, you know, and then it literally sounded like that, and then we went on for a few more minutes. But that's why I was there. That's what my interests are, is not just the bright and the happy and the joyful in the world. But I don't necessarily want to go and get in an argument, but I do want to see what people that I disagree with are saying. It's been a part of my life as long as I had rational thoughts. It's been a part of my life. The neighborhood I grew up in, the field of study I chose in college, in my bike shop, every day in the co-op, I've been confronted with reality, brutal reality, very dark, horrible things, that people getting, myself getting attacked and beaten up, and people that I know and love being attacked and killed and dying, and that's always been a part of my reality. And I try to confront it as much as I can, because I feel like that's just the way it goes, and that's my interest. That's the way I like to live my life, and I don't want to encourage anybody who has bigoted views or has racist views. And if I have, I think I really have to take a step back from what I like to do, which is to see crazy people wing it in from left field with their hateful thoughts, and reflect on the fact that there's so many of you here today that even care about my thoughts, and that I can't comport myself as though I were a 25-year-old fascinated in the world anymore, but I'm someone who has thousands of people hoping that I get into an office. And that was what I was trying to apologize on the phone with Dakota Smith the day after that story broke. And that was what I was trying to apologize for with the LA Times editorial board. And I feel like maybe it's not enough. I don't think it will ever be enough, given the stakes in this election. But that's the reason why I was there. And I'll have to live with that, because it will forever follow me. It has cost me the support of people that I've built the last 12 years of my life, fighting for things that we all believe in, and values that we all believe in. An open city, a place where everybody should feel they have an equal access to government. My big thing was safe streets, and a number of those people have said, I can't work with you anymore because of what this blog post says about you, and what you visiting this site says about you. So that's my reason for being there. I don't know if it's good enough. If it's not, I'd ask for your forgiveness. I've had to shed a few people in my own campaign who thought it was too far, a bridge too far, and I can understand that. The background I come from, I can understand that. My whole family's having an argument about it right now. I have an aunt who was, anyway, very active in Berkeley in the 60s, who was very upset with me right now. So I'm going to have to live with that. I think that you can see what flaw has been exposed with that blog post. I don't think that it has exposed my deep-seated, hidden racism or bigotry, but that I really got caught in my interests have cost this neighborhood the potential for a new leader. And I think for me, that's really been the most painful realization. There are 13 days left in this election, and if you are still on the fence, I can respect that. We'll just have to see if the stakes are once again explained, that we can build that coalition back up again and deliver victory on May 16th, because that's the only thing I care about now. My personal reputation is done, I think. I don't think I'll ever be able to go and get a job and be able to hold my head up high and know that there will be no questions about what happened this election. I have destroyed myself financially. I've been vacant from my family life for over a year now, and I have nothing left to lose. I think this neighborhood has a lot to lose, and I'd hope that we'd find a way forward from this. And I don't know that we can, and I don't know that maybe that we should. Maybe I'm not the right person, but I'm here tonight to try and make that case that I am, and with your help, I will be. So think about that, and if you have another question, I'd be happy to hear it.
Yeah, I just, Joe sort of gave me this explanation the other day, and I thought a lot about it, and I thought, before the 2016 election, did I really know what the Trump vote, I'm not a Trump voter, did I know what the Trump voters were thinking? And I have to say, I didn't know what half the country were thinking, and now when I see articles, say on Facebook, where it talks about what they were thinking, or articles on liberal articles, there'll be conversations going on both sides, and I am fascinated by that. I do go and look at those conversations and comments, and often I don't understand why people hate, and it's shocking, and then. But I have a sociology background too, and a law background, and I do find it fascinating and educational, and it makes me feel in touch with and have compassion for the other side, or other people and what they're going through, and that my situation is not necessarily the right situation, or that my thinking is not always correct, but that it gives me sort of a bridge to sort of learn about others and have sort of a broader understanding, even if I don't agree.